Hey guys, hey, it's Bri here, coming at you guys with another video, and welcome to Bootober. So for the rest of the month of October, I plan on doing a video every single day, going through empaths, going through spiritual awakenings, going through tips and tricks, going through law of attraction, things that you guys are requesting, I'm going to be talking about. So without further ado, today we are going to talk about my spiritual awakening and tips and tricks that I have for you guys in your own spiritual awakening. So I believe that it is very important to hear about other people's spiritual awakenings so that you know that you are not 100% alone, because we are never alone in anything that we do, really. So with that said, let's get to talking. Alright, so this is what I know about my spiritual awakening. I have technically gone through my spiritual awakening twice in my life. The first time I was 5 years old, my dad passed away when I was 5, and I remember bits and pieces of that. I remember going to my best friend's house and getting to stay the night, and I was like, oh, this is so cool, we're staying the night, it's a school night, and we get to stay the night at my friend's house, like, what up? Of course, having no idea what was really going on. You know, the adults are gonna tell the kids that kind of stuff, especially to a 5 and a 3-year-old. My little brother was only 3. And I remember like sleeping that night, and I thought it was kind of funny too at the same time that, you know, we were getting like the special treatment, like we were almost kind of treated a whole lot better than we've ever, because I mean, these friends, like I was always at their house. It was kind of like we were family, so I knew to pick up, I knew to clean up after myself, I knew all of that stuff, but we kind of were getting this special treatment. Like we had like a special dinner and they were being overly nice to them. So I already knew that something was off, right? Well, that night, I was sleeping and I felt something at the end of my bed. And this is something I haven't told many people. In fact, I don't like talking about it just because it's like my own little experience, but at the same time, I feel like it might help somebody, so I'm gonna finally tell the story. But I was sleeping, and at the end of my bed, I felt like somebody was sitting on the end of my bed, and I woke up and it was my dad, and I was like, oh, hey, and he was just like, hey, I just wanted to come and say goodbye, I love you so much. The words are a bit much. I mean, it's kind of an emotional moment, so I'm gonna kind of ramble over the words, but he pretty much told me that he loves me and he will always be with me no matter what. And I went back to sleep and I was like, I love you too, daddy, like, you know, completely like, okay. The next morning my mom comes in and she tells us that my dad had passed away, and I was like, wait, what? Like, you know, completely confused. Well, long story short, I pretty much was put into therapy. I was told to get over, like I was told, like, you know, death is death, at the end you're done. So, and then I got really mad at my dad because I felt like he had lied to me, because he's like, I'll always be here. Well, then he wasn't, and I'm like, what? And so I went on a path of being very angry at him and everything, and it was just like a whirlwind of just like, yeah. I spent most of my childhood being upset at a person who had tried to tell me goodbye. And I spent most of my life thinking I never got to say goodbye to him, when in all reality, he was doing that for me. I pretty much shut down. Like, I shut down my own gifts through therapy, through everything, through just things that happened throughout my life. My mom's husband used to come in my room at 2 o'clock in the morning. He never did anything. He'd just stand at the end of my bed, turn on the light, and it would scare me. So through that and through things that would happen at school and in my life, I shut myself down. It was like I put a wall up. So I put a wall up to love, I put a wall up to a lot of things, and I didn't realize that I was putting a wall up to my own gifts. Well, when I was 15, I was driving a car in my friend's car, and we got in an accident. I remember seeing my dad, and this was the last time I remember seeing him, but I remember seeing him and he stopped the truck. When I had tried to tell somebody else about it, I was told to get over it. And so of course I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll get over it. Like, you know, it is what it is. And that's when I really shut down. I mean, and even the signs were all there. I mean, my friend and I, a lot of people do not know, we went and checked out the vehicle afterwards. Like, we went to go see the wreck because we had to see it, because I was like, I swear I saw him. I swear I saw him stop the truck. And everybody kept asking me if I was okay. Everybody kept saying, are you okay? Are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm completely fine. What are you talking about? Well, the truck itself, when we had seen it, where the driver's side is, and of course I was driving, I was the one that wrecked the truck, you know, and the driver's side had this huge dent, like a body had gone into it. And I was like, I told you, I knew that he had protected me, I knew that he was there for protection, but I didn't know exactly, like I couldn't say it out loud, like I couldn't tell people, like I was just so confused, and everybody told me to get over it, and it was, you know, it is what it is. So again, that's when I officially shut down. It wasn't until 2015 that I went through my second awakening, and I did something that I have never done in my entire life, and I got in trouble for it. I got caught. I had never done this. This was the first time I had ever done this, and I got caught, okay? So when I tell people I don't judge, it's because I've had some dark past things happen that I don't judge because of it, you know? My stepdad coming into my room in 2 o'clock in the morning, who knows what he wanted. I just remember screaming, you know, being in an accident when I was 15, losing my dad. I mean, it's like, you know, I don't judge. But anywho, I did something I shouldn't have done, and I got caught, and I should get caught. Like, when you're not doing something you shouldn't be doing, you should get caught. Like, you shouldn't be doing that, right? Well, it sent me into a whirlwind of just like complete darkness. And I remember just being completely and totally ready to give up on the world. I was ready to give up on myself. I was ready just to finish. I was done. I didn't want anything else. It was like I went into this dark, dark hole of abyss. And for an entire year, I just lived through the moment, like, meh, whatever. And it wasn't until I met a psychic medium, Steve and Vega with Rocky Mountain Medium, who soon eventually became my friends. But it wasn't until she showed up and told me that, you know, it happened for you, not to you. It was supposed to happen so that I would awaken. It was supposed to also help me from ever future getting in trouble, because I was already headed down a dark, dark path. Because at that point in my life, I was like, you know what? I'm like, what's the point anymore? Like, I've had just crap happen to me. I'm just completely done. I'm just gonna go have a crappy time and be a crappy person, apparently. So it happened for me, not to me. And she helped me realize that. She also helped me realize that my dad has always been here. I mean, a lot of things, but she also helped me come from the darkness into the light. And I realized later on that that was my second awakening. I spent the next few years, you know, learning to love myself again, learning to work on myself. It didn't happen overnight. I mean, the next few years was constant working on me. This last year, I finally started working with a mentor who helped me not only develop my gifts, but understand them and realize that being an empath is not a curse, it's actually a blessing. So in doing and working with somebody else, I also developed my gifts that much more. So yes, I've gone through an awakening twice. I'm now going through an ascension again. So, you know, and we're gonna continue to do this. Like, we're gonna continue to go through ascensions. We're gonna continue to learn lessons. We're gonna continue to figure things out. We're human, right? I mean, if we could just sit down every day and say, what am I supposed to do today? And they just tell us, that wouldn't breed free will. Boo. Be free will. That would go against everything that our higher self stands for, that our guide stands for, that our angel stands for. So that is part of free will. We have to go through these, right? But it's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world, and I want everybody else out there to realize that it's not the end of the world. So my tips and tricks for you is this: get yourself a mentor. Understand that you're not alone. You are definitely not alone. I thought I was completely alone. I mean, I was ready to just completely give up on this world. I'm not even kidding. Like, I was just done. I was living through the motions. I was going to nursing school. I hated nursing school. I mean, I was passing and everything, yeah, and I would have made a great nurse because I'm an empath. I mean, empaths usually go towards the healing fields, but I just couldn't, like, it felt wrong, and everything in my body felt wrong, and I wasn't being myself. And when I started being myself, and that's the next tip, is be yourself. Don't be somebody else. Don't follow behind somebody else. We each have our own gifts, and each of us, our gifts are unique. While my friend season can see spirits and stuff in a certain way, you know, I see loved ones and stuff in a different way. For me, they come in as a white light, like a shiny white shadow. So don't compare yourself to anybody else. Like, your spiritual awakening is going to be different than somebody else. Along with a mentor, I'd reach over and go grab this, is I highly recommend this workbook. This is the first time that I'm going through this workbook, and it has tips and tricks, and it has ways to call in protection and just understanding your own gifts. But this workbook right here, I highly recommend for anybody who is going through spiritual awakening, who is just trying to understand your own gifts and trying to figure things out, you know. And that's the next thing. Don't try and figure it out, just let it happen. You know, grab a book and start reading. I believe that we should always be reading. I should believe that we are always learning. Find somebody that you resonate with. If you can't afford a mentor, there are so many videos on YouTube. That is part of why I make these videos. Because you know what, maybe the person that's watching this can't afford a mentor, so they're gonna come across my video and go, okay, that makes more sense, or okay, I'm not alone, or oh, I should go get this book, because I got this book on Amazon, I think like 14 bucks. I don't think the price is, oh, it was 18. But I think it was 14 on Amazon. So, I mean, if you went to Barnes & Noble, it might be 18, but on Amazon, it was 14. So I'm trying to find the beginning parts of it. So in here it says like, learning healthy boundaries, grounding, healing your aura, owning your spinal pathway, keeping your home physically clear and safe. So that's the next thing, is when you're going through a spiritual awakening, make sure your own aura and your own home and space is completely and totally clear. Keep it clean and clear of any negative energy. And that includes your aura, you know, call in protection every single day. I will countlessly tell people this, but say your prayer of protection to call in that ball of white light to surround you in a positive energy and keep negative energy out, but also to send positive energy out to others. I learned this from the lady I went through my Reiki course with, my Reiki 1. She actually was the one that helped me realize that I should send out the positive energy also. So do that also, and keeping the dark energies from coming and attaching to you, and instead going down to Mother Earth, being recycled into something new and light. So those are about my only tips, other than crystals. Crystals are huge, but crystals, you really and truly have to believe in them also. A crystal is only going to work with you if you resonate with it and if you truly and completely believe in it. But gemstone jewelry, you know, always carrying protection. I mean, I have crystals all over me right now. Always keeping protection around you. So if you're going through your own spiritual journey right now, just know that you are not alone, that there are so many other people out there going through the same spiritual journey as you, and to keep going, because you got this. All right, and with that said, I gotta get going. I love you guys. Bye.